he's willing to call fraud. If he sees the fraud, he's willing to call it fraud. He's just,
right.
Make no bones about it.
Are you saying frog?
No.
Have you seen that commercial?
I was looking at a picture of Ted Cruz when I said it, so it might have sounded like frog, but I really didn't.
No, but but over the phone, fraud and frog, the amphibian.
Yeah.
They sound similar. Well, there's a commercial. I think it might be a Geico commercial. It's an insurance commercial where the one guy is trying to insure his frog, and the insurance salesman's like, "Yeah, we have fraud protection. We have great fraud protection." And he said, "Did you say fraud or did you say frog?" And on one end he's saying fraud, the other guy's saying frog. They're repeating it back and forth, and finally the guy with the frog says, "I think we're on the same page." It's pretty funny.
Hey, so
anyway.
Making the case though, Sean Hannity this week had his had his panel on, but he had a Monica Crowley. I was going to say Monica Lewinsky. Monica Crowley on his show, and they were talking about this whole GOP stealing, this whole in between back and forth, and Sean Hannity came out and he threw his hat in the ring. I mean, in a way, we're all trying to be partial about who you're going to vote for, who you're not going to vote for. But
he's been pretty fair to Trump for a long time.
Oh yeah, no, definitely he has. So I've got this 57-second clip of Monica going off on the GOP establishment.
Monica easily going to, cut their nose to spite their face? Are the establishment going to turn on the winner?
Well, many of them are. I mean, many of them are quoted as saying that they would rather have Hillary Clinton.
They'll vote for Hillary Clinton.
Than Donald Trump or Ted Cruz, by the way. Look, and this is not a surprise. When I say that they fear Donald Trump, what they fear is that this guy is promising to come in and smash the existing order. That means all of their power, all of their control over the party, and their gravy trains, the special interests, all the big money that they get. He's promising to blow that wide open, which is what the American people want, at least the Republican voters who keep him on a winning trail.
Mercedes, if they're going to be that self-destructive, and they're going to pout, and they're going to pick up their little toys, and they're going to go home like a bunch of babies, they will destroy. There will be no Republican Party at the end of this. Because if they're successful, guess what? Cruz and Trump supporters are walking out, and I'm walking out with them.
Right.
There you go.
Wow. Well, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. No, there you go. I mean, he says, by him saying I'm walking out with them, he's walking out on the GOP, on the Republican Party. But I think what he's saying is I'm walking out with them and I'm voting Trump or Cruz, whoever's the,
the third party?
Yeah, I know.
I like the fact that he's at least pointing out, look, it's going to be Trump or Cruz. They're both, for the most part, what they're doing to Cruz is pretty reprehensible. A lot of people don't realize it because nobody is actually attacking him directly and saying anything bad about Cruz. But what they're doing that is really reprehensible, as much as I am a Trump supporter, it just disgusts me that there is clearly a concerted effort to make sure that he is never mentioned for anything.
Right.
They don't give him airtime. They are told to not point their microphones or their cameras anywhere in his direction whatsoever at any time for anything. And also, commentators that talk about the election, political commentators, whatever, are clearly instructed not to use the C word because they don't. It's amazing how here's the guy who is, I would say it would be kind of a nice little thing. We have kind of a race here between Cruz and Trump, even though Trump's leading. There's been some back and forth. I would think that it would make for good television, good radio, to point out that, they're battling it out and trying to see who's going to be the nominee. Instead, they act like Cruz doesn't even exist.
Right.
And it's pretty, I think it's kind of reprehensible. So.
No, you're absolutely right. It is amazing that he he is not. He's not talked about in the media unless it's just mentioned alongside Trump's name. The GOP isn't mentioning him. They're not attacking him. He's not getting negative air, and he's not getting positive air. So it's both.
He's getting no air. He's getting zero air.
Right. So it's...
You know why? I think they're hoping. This is kind of... I'm thinking smoke-filled room, fly on the wall. What is it that they talked about? I'm guessing that they said, listen, obviously Trump is all over the place. I think we need to paint him into this crazy, violent person so that even his supporters will be like, you know what, at the end of the day, maybe it's best if maybe it's okay and it's best that the smoke-filled room cigar smokers have decided to choose somebody else to nominate than our boy Trump. But on the other hand, for Cruz people, I think what they're doing is this. Hey, look, Cruz supporters are going to be pissed. We know that. When we choose ours, they're going to be pissed. But if we don't give him any airtime, then the non-Cruz supporters aren't going to say, hey, what you did to Cruz is reprehensible.
Right.
They're going to not even realize that he was totally on the map. They're not even going to realize it. They're going to be like, oh, you mean they screwed over Cruz? They did? They're not even going to know that he got screwed over because he's been completely blackballed or he's just been 86 from any kind of coverage whatsoever.
Well, and I think
that's pretty bad.
Right, well, when you get blackballed. Well, I mean, he was blackballed by the GOP from back in the day. Like, he was never...
Oh, who was it? Who was it that said, you know what, I don't even know who it was. They said, you know what, I could see the GOP probably rallying behind Cruz against Trump if they really want Trump out, and they're not looking to Cruz as the person to defeat Trump, which is amazing. They really want Trump defeated that bad.
Well,
and they're really threatening to go third party. Before they did all that, why don't they rally around Cruz to defeat Trump?
You know, and if they did,
weird.
Well, if they did, they would have had a really viable chance. There's no question about it. They'd had a viable chance.
They would have a better chance than rallying around Kasich, who needs 111% of the delegates. Well, it's ridiculous.
Well, and they're calling out
totally
Cruz.
Ridiculous.
They're calling Cruz out and saying that he needs 87% of the delegates left, which...
That may be. I don't know. I haven't done the math myself, but boy, he needs a lot of delegates from here on out to catch up with Trump.
Judge Jeanine said 80%, but another article I read said 87%, so take it for whatever it's worth. He needs in the 80s to win it. And tactically, I don't even think there's that many numbers out there. And not only is there not that many numbers out there, he's not taking New York. He's not taking California. He's going to
lose ground in New York, right?
Yes. And then by the time it comes around, I said this earlier on in the show, by the time it comes all the way around, people are going to be voting for Trump because they don't want to be wrong. They want to be winners.
Oh yeah, we've talked about this phenomenon. It's the casino phenomenon. I don't know. Did we name it? We may have named it.
Why would you call it the casino phenomenon? I might get on board with that name.
Well, I think it's more of a horse race than a casino. You don't want to put your bet. They look at that's why I call it casino. They don't look at their vote as, hey, this guy represents me best, so I'm going to put my vote on him. If he doesn't win, well, at least my voice got heard with my vote. They don't look at it that way. There's a lot of people that look at it as, okay, here's my horses. Here's my choices. These are all the horses running in the race. Somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose. I need to have my money on the winner. I don't care what they believe in. It's just important that I pick the winner.
Right. No, I agree with that.
So it's kind of a horse race. It's a horse race phenomenon. You know, they're not. It's not like, okay, I look at voting like this. One of these horses I own. It may not be the winner of the race, but I own it. And so I need to back it. I need to tell everybody that's the horse I own. And if he ends up losing, hey, at least I gave it a college try,
Right.
and he didn't win, whatever. That's the way I look at voting. They don't look at it that way. They look at it like as an outsider trying to win. They just want to win. They want to feel good by winning. And so, like you said, as soon as they believe that Trump is the inevitable winner, then people who are on the fence, who are horse racers, we'll call it the horse racing phenomenon, or horse bettors. The horse bettors are going to want to bet on the winning horse when they realize it's Trump that's going to win. They're going to pull the lever for Trump.
Right. When you said casino originally, I was thinking about the craps table. And when I see like 4 or 5 different craps tables.
Well, no, I was thinking roulette.
Because people would go, they kind of fade to the craps table that is screaming the loudest. And there's literally a winning dice throw over there. Everybody wants to get in on that table.
Well, I'm thinking more of roulette because you have to pick a number.
Right.
And the number you pick has to win, or else you're a big fat loser.
Right.
You're not betting on numbers and you're okay with it losing because that number represents you the best. Imagine, okay, so you're 26 years old, and so you're going to bet on 26. You're not betting on, you're not like, well, it's okay if I lose because at least I put my money on my number,
right,
my age, my 26 or whatever. No, man, you're betting on 26 because you really hoping that thing really lands on it, and then that way you win some money. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so,
you got the winning number. No, you're right.
Yeah.
So former Speaker of the House Newt Gingrich came out and was talking with Breitbart. Breitbart has a radio station on, I think it's on Sirius. They have a Sirius channel.
Okay.
Which
all right, is it serious?
Yeah, it might. It's so serious. You may hear Smith Radio on there one day. That's how serious it is.
Oh boy.
So
yeah, well, we'll see if they're good enough for us.
Well, yeah, because we got to check it out with the lawyers about crossing the party lines from iHeart to Sirius. I don't know. Might be kind of touchy there, but
it might be a breach of contract.
Correct. So Newt Gingrich comes out and he tells Breitbart that if Donald Trump wins big in Florida, the party will not be able to stop him. And he went on. Obviously, this was back before the Florida vote for Tuesday. He says if he gets big numbers in Florida's, you're not going to be able to stop him at all. You're just going to tear the party apart. Newt Gingrich.
Well, Gingrich. I've always thought of Gingrich as most pundits always consider Gingrich as being a brainiac, really smart and all that. But to be honest with you, he's stating the obvious. So it doesn't take much brain power.
Well, no, it doesn't. But the thing is that a lot of people aren't wanting to confront the GOP, the establishment, and tell them what they need to hear. But anyways, he threw cold water on the whole idea of a brokered convention, which Weekly Standard editor Bill Kristol has been plotting and praying to the gods above for a brokered convention.
He is such a turncoat liberal. Anybody, oh my gosh, what are they thinking? What is his motive?
Well, I called it out years ago to a lot of old-time Republicans, and I told them, I said, Bill Kristol is a liberal in sheep's clothing. And they're like, no.
Well, he took the sheep's clothing off. That's all I know.
Well, yeah, no, he did. That was years ago. I called that out to some of these folks, and now it's come to be true that he's embracing his roots as a rhino.
Rhino? It sounds like he's practically a Democrat. The way you've been talking about him sounds like he's willing to vote for Hillary if Trump becomes the nominee.
I bet he would. Absolutely. So if no delegate gets 50%, if no candidate gets 50% of the delegates on the first ballot, then on the second ballot, this is Gingrich explaining what happens to the delegates. And he's saying on the second ballot of the pledged delegates can become unpledged and support whoever